Good afternoon, children. So tomorrow you are writing PT2, isn't it? So this period we are going to revise some questions from this exam portion. For the exam, you have 3 chapters. The chapters are determinants, continuity and differentiability, and applications of derivatives. Okay, we are going to revise some questions from this part. Okay, if you take the first chapter, determinants. Okay, to have the textbook and all means take it and keep it ready. In determinants. Okay, determinants is defined for, is it defined for all types of matrices or any specialities there? We can define determinant only for dash.
Square matrix.
It is defined for only square matrix. Okay, determinant is defined for only square matrix. Determinant of a matrix means for every square matrix we can associate a real number, isn't it? That number only we call it as determinant. Then determinant of a matrix will be same as its transpose. Determinant of the matrix will be same as its transpose. Okay. Then what else you have learned in determinants? If 2 rows are identical, what will be the value of the determinant? If 2 rows are identical, what is the value of the determinant?
0.
0. Okay. Now write, what about the value of this determinant? A, B, C. What is the value of this determinant?
1.
Is it 1? Is it 1? What is the value of this determinant? Is it 1? What you can do? Okay, suppose I am doing like this. C1 gets C1 plus C2. Either you expand it, either you can expand it, but we have learned few properties that day, isn't it? We have used some properties. Using these properties also you can do. If you know the properties, your calculation becomes simple. That's all. Now here, one full column is same means we can take it outside. If one full row or full column is same, we can take it outside. So it is B plus C, C plus A, B plus A, again 1, 1, 1. So value of the determinant will become 0.
Ma'am,
Yes, Sachin.
but the properties are not there, for example.
Properties is not there. That day also I said properties are not there. But determinants, they may ask you to expand it. If you know the property, you can do it easily. The question will be what is the value of the determinant. If you don't know what you can do, we can expand it. Is it clear? If you know the property, we can do it easily. Yes, the statements, few statements we are learning. You can use the statements. Not very big questions and all will be asked, but finding the value of the determinant may be asked. Okay, either you have to expand it and you have to simplify, cancel it and you have to find the answer. But if this property, looking at this, you can identify it easily, is it no? Then, if determinant is 0, what can you say about the matrix? If the determinant of a matrix is 0, then that matrix is said to be singular matrix, isn't it? That matrix is said to be singular. What about non-singular matrix? Determinant is not equal to 0. Okay, for a non-singular matrix, we can find the inverse. For a non-singular matrix, we can find the inverse. And what is the formula to find inverse? Formula to find inverse? Yes. Formula to find inverse?
1 by determinant of A into X.
Yes, yes, Gauri. It's correct. 1 by determinant A into adjoint of A. How will you find adjoint matrix? How to find adjoint? Transpose of the cofactor matrix. It is the transpose of the cofactor matrix. Okay. What is meant by transpose? What is meant by transpose?
Row and column exchange.
Row interchanging of rows and columns. Okay, it is called transpose. How will you find minor? No need to write all these things. You just revise it. What you have learned, just we are revising it. How will you find minor? How to find the minor of an element?
Determinant obtained by deleting
Ah.
the column.
Yes, it is a determinant got by deleting the row and column containing that element. We are deleting the row and column containing that element, isn't it? So if A is a matrix of square matrix of order n by n, minor is a determinant of order. Minor is a determinant of order. Yes, Punya.
N minus 1.
N minus 1. Okay, it is of order n minus 1. Then we have learned about adjoint, isn't it? Adjoint. What is meant by adjoint? Adjoint of the elements. First you revise what you have learned in determinants. After revising that, you do the problem. That is how you have to do the chapter-wise revision. In this chapter, what all the things we have learned? Okay, when you prepare for the exam, you take first chapter. Suppose I am going to learn determinants. In chapter, you take the first exercise. In the first exercise, now what's the first exercise in determinants? I am not remember. First exercise is finding the value of determinant. Okay, so once you take that chapter, it is not straight away doing the exercise question, first exercise and all. Before that, you revise it, what we have learned in that first exercise. Before solving the first exercise, which all the concept you have learned. So determinants, when the first exercise what you have learned, we can expand the given matrix determinant in how many ways? Value will be same. You can expand it along rows and columns, isn't it? You can expand it along the first row or expand it along the second row. Similarly, you can expand it along the first column or second column. Okay, whether we are expanding it along the first row or first column, value of the determinant will be always same. Isn't it? That is what we learned that. Then what else we have learned? Determinant value may be positive, negative or 0. Then, when will you say two determinants are equal? Is it two determinants are equal means? Yes. Value of the determinants are equal. Don't equate the corresponding entries. Two determinants are equal means value of the determinants are equal. Okay. So that's what we learn in the first section. Then we start with the next one is area of the triangle. Suppose you are given 3 vertices. What is the formula to find area of the triangle? Those who know the answer, give the answer, children, so that we can move forward easily. Otherwise, we will be half into
A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, then 1, 1, 1.
2 vertices. Okay. You are giving along the column. Okay. Suppose x1, y1, x2, y2, and x3, y3 are the vertices. Then half into, I am giving this along the row wise. Okay. x1, y1, 1. x2, y2, 1, x3, y3, 1. Determinant value may be positive or negative, but area we will take only the positive. We take the absolute value. If area of triangle is 0, then
Points are collinear.
Points are collinear. Area of triangle is 0 means the points are collinear. Okay, sometimes the area will be given. You are asked to find the unknown. In that case, what we will do? Suppose area is 4. So we equate the value of the determinant is equal to plus or minus 4. You have to consider both the cases. Area is given and you are asked to find any of the missing point means we take the determinant value. We equate the determinant value to plus or minus area. 2 cases you have to consider. Okay. Then finding the equation of the line. 2 points will be given. Finding the equation of the line. How will you do that one? How you have to do that?
X
Yes, you take x comma y as any point on the line. 2 points are already given. You take a third point. Let x comma y be a third point on the line AB. Then we know that these 3 points are collinear. So area of the triangle will be 0. From that you will get the equation. This is what we learned in the second one. Then what about the next case? We learned about minor and cofactor. Minor of an element small aij is denoted as minor of an element small aij is denoted as capital Mij, and aij is the cofactor, isn't it? What is the relation between Mij and aij? Aij is minus 1 raised to I plus j into Mij. Okay? Then we learned about some properties there. Okay, if you multiply like this, A11 capital A11 into A12 capital A12 plus A13 capital A13 is equal to delta, is equal to value of the determinant. These are all important 1 mark questions. Okay, children, this is how we have to prepare. When you take a chapter, it's not straight away starting with the exercise. First you go through the text, learn the definition, important formula, remarks, read it, and then start doing the question. Is it clear? I'm going to learn continuity. So don't start with the exercise questions. Before that, you read the theory part. If you are thorough with the concept, that remaining part you can do it easily. Okay? So if you move on like this, you will not be able to complete all the 3 chapters now. Okay? So the method only I gave you now, how you have to learn. Okay? I'm going to discuss only a few selected important questions. Then, in matrices, another important thing is solve inverse. What is the formula to find inverse of a matrix? Inverse of a matrix is 1 by determinant A into adjoint of A. 1 by determinant A into adjoint of A. What is adjoint matrix? How will you find adjoint? Transpose of the cofactor matrix. It is the transpose of the cofactor matrix. Okay. Then in cofactor and inverse we will learn so many important properties. Determinant of A transpose, the inverse will be same as A inverse the transpose. Is that no? Then what else we have learned? Determinant AB is equal to determinant A into determinant B. Determinant A into B is determinant A into determinant B. Then we have learned A into adj is equal to adj into A is equal to determinant A into I. Determinant A into I. From here, suppose if A is a 3 by 3 matrix, what is determinant at J? What is the answer? If A is a 3 by 3 matrix, then determinant of at J will be same as? What is the answer? A is a
A raised to n minus 1.
n minus 1. Here A is a 3 by 3 matrix. So it will be
2.
2. Determinant A square. These are all important 1 mark question. This model and all is important. If A is a 3 by 3 matrix, then determinant of at J will be same as A square. Okay? Then, suppose determinant A is 5 and A is a 3 by 3 matrix. Suppose A is a 3 by 3 matrix. So what will be determinant of 3A? A is 5, determinant A is 5 and A is a 3 by 3 matrix, therefore is determinant of 3A. What is the method? What is the formula? How many rows are there? 3 rows, isn't it? So we can write this as 3 cube into determinant A. Okay, if it is 3, you'll take 3. Suppose it is determinant 2a means 2 cube into determinant A. So for each row, we can take one time outside. So it is a 3 by 3 matrix. So for each row, you can take 1, 2 outside. So you get 2 cube into determinant A. Okay, so in general, suppose determinant A is K and A is an n by n matrix. Then determinant of Ka will be K raised to n into determinant A. Okay, here instead of K you take some other number. Instead of K, what is the number you can take? Suppose it is M. Then it is K raised to n into determinant A. So that is K raised to n into M. Determinant A is M. These are the properties you are learning. They are important 1 mark questions. What about AB, the whole inverse?
B inverse and B inverse.
B inverse into A inverse. Then regarding the second chapter, continuity. When will you say function is continuous? When will you say the function is continuous? If limit extending to A of f of x is equal to f of A, isn't it? If the left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to value of the function, then the given function is said to be continuous. Okay, we know that every polynomial function is continuous. Every trigonometric function is continuous. Okay, mod x, is it continuous? Mod x, what about the graph of mod x? We'll be getting a V-shaped curve. It is continuous. What about the greatest integer function? Is it continuous, greatest integer function? No, isn't it? It is discontinuous at each and every integral point. At every integer, if you take the point integer 1, 2, 3, it is discontinuous at every integral point. Okay, then in derivatives, which are the different types we have learned? Before that we have learned one relation, differentiability and continuity. What is the relation? Every continuous function is differentiable or every differentiable function is continuous? Which is true?
Differentiable functions.
Every differentiable function is continuous. But the converse need not be true. Which is the example?
Modulus.
Very good. Modulus x. Okay. Note down. Modulus of x minus a is not differentiable at x is equal to a. If you take modulus of x minus 2, it is not differentiable at x is equal to 2. If you take modulus of x minus 3 plus modulus of x plus 5, it is not differentiable at this is not differentiable at which point, children? If you give split like this, what is the answer? It is not differentiable at 3 and minus 5. Okay, in general, you can write down this in your textbook. Modulus of x minus a plus modulus of x minus b is not differentiable at x is equal to a and b. It is not differentiable at x is equal to a and b. Then, in differentiability, we have learned some conditions. Okay, finding the unknown values, continuity. If this is continuous, find the value of k, find the value of a. That type of questions will be asked for 1 mark question. Find k if this is continuous. If the function is continuous, find k, find a. That type of questions will be asked. One question, let us do it now. Write the question. Find a and b. Find a and b if f of x is equal to 1, if x less than or equal to 3, ax plus b if 3 less than x less than 5, 7 if 5 less than or equal to x. Find a and b if f of x is equal to this is continuous. If this is continuous, find a and b. If f of x is equal to this is continuous, find the value of a and b. How to do this? So here, whenever you are given a problem like this, you have to look at which point the function is splitted. That is what you have to check. The function may get discontinuous at this point, isn't it? At the point 3, the function is changing. So we will be finding left hand limit at 3 is equal to right hand limit at 3 is equal to f of 3, isn't it? It is given it is continuous. So left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to f of 3. So when you find out the left hand limit extending to 3 minus of f of x. What does it mean by 3 minus? Less than 3, isn't it? Means less than 3. So limit extending to 3 minus of f of x. So less than 3, the function is 1. What about the right hand limit? Limit extending to 3 plus greater than 3. For greater than 3, what is the function? Greater than 3, it is ax plus b. So when you put the value there, it is 3a plus b is equal to f of 3. F of 3 is again 1. So we get the equation 3a plus b is 1. Similarly, the next one, at x is equal to 5. At x is equal to 5, left hand limit at 5. What is the left hand limit at 5? Less than 5. For less than 5, what is the function? It is ax plus b, isn't it? Limit extending to 5, ax plus b. So we get 5a plus b. You take the other side. Right hand limit. Limit extending to 5 plus of f of x. Greater than 5. For greater than 5, what is the function given there? It is 7. So we get 5a plus b is equal to 7. These are the two equations. 5a plus b is equal to 7 is the two equations. Now we have to solve these two equations and find what is a, what is b. What is the value of A and give the value of B, children? What is the value of A? Yes. What is the value of A, Michael? I am not able to hear. Say it louder, Michael. It's not. A is 3. Yes, correct. B is negative 8. B is negative 8. We have learned about the derivatives. Okay. We have learned the derivatives of chain rule. Function of function, isn't it? Then we have learned about derivative of implicit functions. Parametric form. Higher order derivatives. Okay. Write this question. F of x is equal to f of x is equal to 3x square plus cos x plus 5. Find f double dash of 1. Find f double dash of 1. How you have to do this? Find f double dash of 1. So find what is f dash of x. What is f dash of x? 6x. What is derivative of cos x? It is minus sin x plus 0, isn't it? And similarly, what is f double dash of x? 6 minus cos x. And what will be f double dash of 1? In the place of x, we have to substitute 1. So it is 6 minus cos 1. Cos 1 is not, okay, cos 0 is defined, but cos 1 and all we leave it because we are not using logbook and all. So with this step you can stop. Is it correct? Next one. Find the derivative of cos of log root x. Find the derivative of cos of log root x. How will you differentiate this? Cos of log root x. What is the derivative? First you name this as y. So it will be dy by dx. What is the derivative of cos x? Here we have 3 functions, isn't it? Cos, log and root x. What is the derivative of cos x, Dia? Minus sin x. Minus sin of log root x into. So next step you have to differentiate log of root x. What is the derivative of log of root x? 1 by root x, isn't it? Log x, derivative is 1 by x into. What is derivative of root x? 1 by 2 root x. So we get minus sin of log root x by 2x. By 2x. Find the derivative of 2 raised to x. What is the answer? What is the formula for derivative of a raised to x, Ashwin? Derivative of a raised to x. Ashwin? Derivative of a raised to x. What is the answer? What is the derivative of a raised to x? Ashwin?
A raised to x.
A raised to x. That's all?
Log x.
Log x or log a?
Log a, log a.
Derivative of a raised to x is a raised to x into log a. Okay, so what is the derivative of 2 raised to x? Derivative of 2 raised to x is 2 raised to x into log 2. Okay. So, what is derivative of 2 raised to x? 2 raised to x into log 2. What is the derivative of 2 raised to sin x? What is the derivative of 2 raised to sin x? Either you can take log and you can do. If you take log y is equal to log of 2 raised to sine x. So using the property of log, we can write this as sine x into log 2. Log y, if we differentiate, it is 1 by y, dy by dx is equal to sine x, and you differentiate, it is cos x into log 2. Therefore, dy by dx is equal to y into cos x into log 2. So that is, what is y? 2 raised to sine x into cos x into log 2. Then in higher order derivatives, you have to differentiate as much time it is asked, isn't it? Then in maxima, minima, what is the maximum value of 2 plus sine x? What is the maximum value of 2 plus sine x? What is the maximum value of 2 plus sine x, and what is the minimum value? Maximum and minimum value of 2 plus sine x. What will be the answer? Sin x, you first look at the sin x, because 2, you don't need to bother about it. Sin x, you look at the function sin x. For sin x, what is the maximum value?
1.
1. So maximum value will be 2 plus 1, isn't it? And what is the minimum value? 2 minus 1, which is 1. So maximum value is 3 and minimum value is 2. Then in parametric form, suppose x is equal to a cos theta and y is b sin theta. X is a cos theta, y is b sin theta. Find dy by dx. Find dy by dx. How to do this again? X is a cos theta, y is b sin theta. So first you find dx by d theta. What is dx by d theta? A into derivative of cos theta is minus sin theta. Similarly, find out what is dy by d theta. B into cos theta. Our aim is to find dy by dx. So what is dy by dx? Dy by d theta by dx by d theta. So we get b cos theta by minus a sin theta. So answer will be minus b by a cot theta. And what about the second order derivative? What is d square y by dx square? You have to differentiate it once again. Minus b by a into, what is derivative of cot theta? Minus cosec square theta into d theta by dx. This is the point, important last time for the exam. So many of you not did this at all, isn't it? For one class test, I asked one question. Find the second order. So you have to differentiate it once again into d theta by dx. So minus of minus, it will become plus d cosec square theta by a into d theta by dx. It's reciprocal. Minus 1 by a sine theta. So we get minus b by a square cosec cube theta. Similarly, when you say function is increasing or decreasing, when you say function is increasing, the function is increasing or decreasing, first we find f dash of x, isn't it? We find f dash of x. Then we find equate f dash of x to 0. Okay, if we are in some problems from f dash of x itself, we can say whether it is positive or negative. Suppose if it is positive, if first order derivative is positive, then it is increasing. If first order derivative is negative, it is a point of decreasing. Suppose from the function, if you are not able to give, then what you will do? We equate f dash of x to 0. We solve for x. After finding x, we divide that into intervals. And from the interval, you take one value and we will substitute. After substituting, if f dash of x is positive, it is increasing. And if dash of x is negative, means it is decreasing. Okay? What about sin x? What about the function sin x? Is it increasing or decreasing? F of x is sin x. So it will be f dash of x. It is cos x, isn't it? If you take the quadrant, in the first quadrant, it is increasing, isn't it? It is increasing in 0 to pi by 2. But in the quadrant pi by 2 to pi, it is decreasing. Second quadrant, it is decreasing. Again, if you take the next quadrant, it is again decreasing. Again, 3 pi by 2 to 0, it is increasing. Okay, so if you take as a whole, if you take the interval 0 to 2 pi, or if you take the interval 0 to pi, it is neither increasing nor decreasing, isn't it? It is neither increasing nor decreasing. Similarly, suppose you are given a function f of x is equal to log x. What is f dash of x? Derivative of log x is 1 by x, and this is positive when x is greater than 0. So it is increasing in the interval 0 to infinity. It is increasing in the interval 0 to infinity. Isn't it? If it is negative, surely it is decreasing. So it is increasing in the interval 0 to infinity. Then what else we know about? What else is left out? Maxima, minima, then slope. Write the next one. If y is equal to 3x square minus 6x plus 1, find the slope of the curve at x is equal to 2. Find the slope of the curve at x is equal to 2. How will you do this? So you will find dy by dx, isn't it? So it is 6x minus 6. At x is equal to 2, what is the slope? Slope means it is always dy by dx. So 6 into 2 minus 6, you will get 12 minus 6, which is 6. Slope of the curve is 6. Slope of the curve, slope of the tangent, everything is same, okay? Slope of the tangent means there also you have to find dy by dx. Slope of the curve, slope of the tangent, there and all you have to find dy by dx. Write this question, children. If the tangent to the curve, this is a board exam question. If the tangent to the curve y is equal to x cube plus ax plus b at the point 1 comma minus 6 is parallel to, if this is parallel to, if the tangent to the curve y is equal to x cube plus ax plus b at the point 1 comma minus 6 is parallel to the line x minus y plus 5 is 0, find a and b. Find a and b. Okay, what is given here? The tangent at this point is parallel. So what we know about two lines are parallel? If two lines
Equal.
slopes are equal, we can't say it is not discussed. We have learned this in lower classes. 11th standard we have learned. And likewise, from the straight line, how will you find the slope? What is the formula? Suppose you are given a line, ax plus by plus c is 0. What is the slope of the line? Slope is minus a by b, isn't it? So from the curve you can find out dy by dx. Slope is 3x square plus a. From the equation of the line, what is the slope? Slope is minus a by b, minus a by minus 1, so which is 1. So slopes are equal. So 3x square plus a is 1. Now put the values. Put x is equal to 1 and y is minus 6. When you put x is 1 and y is minus 6, 3 into 1 square plus a is 1. So a is minus 2. Once you get a, you can substitute this point on y. A is 1, x is 1, a is minus 2, y is 1, sorry, x is 1, x is minus 6, and find out what is b. Okay? Try this type of questions. Read the textbook well, go through all the 1 mark questions given there. Okay? Prepare well and come.
Can you show once more?
Straight lines we have learned last year. Okay, straight lines last year itself we have learned. Slope is given by tan theta. Okay, from the line how will you find slope? Everything we have learned last year, go through it. What is the condition for perpendicular? Slopes is, product of the slope is minus 1. Is it okay, Achyut?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, children. Prepare well and come. All the very best. Okay. Thank you.